Hi, today I'm going to show you exactly how you could build an awesome AI thumbnail like this, which has close to 600,000 views. And yeah, I think the key part is with this technique, you are able to create absolutely stunning AI thumbnails at the click of a button or a few buttons, and basically copy any style with your face in it. So I think it's super cool to know this. This will definitely give you absolutely fantastic thumbnails or pretty much anything really. The technique is very broadly applicable. So yeah, let's get started. So step one is finding a very good template to use or something you want to copy. If we just scroll through some kind of keyword that we have, I think there are different tiers to what works well and what doesn't in the context of copying a style. For example, anything that is like hyper realistic, such as this one, or that like requires very intricate details, such as like this particular device, I think that's still very hard to do if you can't really afford any hallucinations or like still some tiny bit of weirdness. But if we just scroll down a bit further, we can, for example, see, as already mentioned, this one. Yeah, this one. This one I think is perfect. We can probably also copy this. I think there are countless of different things that we could try. You can also edit certain parts of it, but this is also highly likely to be generated with AI. So that being said, how do we proceed from here? So firstly, we just take a screenshot of this particular image. I've already done this, but yeah, just take one, download it. Once that is done, you're going to actually leave YouTube, go to ChatGPT, you're going to drop the image in here and ask ChatGPT to write a prompt for Flux, the Flux image model, to recreate this style. Please be as detailed as possible. Perfect. Let's see what it does. But this is always the second and an incredibly important step. You always want to really understand what the LLM sees here and then basically use that to inform the Flux context model. So we can see a bearded man with a mohawk hairstyle stands in front of a dark, moody, gradient background. Wonderful. So like the thing is, I think we can already see one key issue, which is this is not 100% applicable to us or to whatever we want to do. So that being said, the next key step is to take whatever image you have of yourself or whatever you want to use, and then basically drop this into this prompt and ask ChatGPT to adjust this prompt to the new mold or like to the new image that we basically just pasted in. So let me just quickly find an image of myself and then we can continue. So I found an image of myself and let's give this a proper test. We are just going to drop an image of me in here, and then we're just going to ask ChatGPT to adjust the previously generated prompt to make this more applicable to me. Please adjust the prompt you generated to be used with the image I'm sending to you right now. Wonderful. So like when that is done, we can also specify certain other things. So for example, if there's anything we don't like about the style, if there's anything we would like to add, for example, like this is very specific for the ChatGPT logo, but this could be very well something else. I'm just going to leave it as is right now, but we can definitely change quite a few things here. I think one very important key aspect is the ratio is pretty important, although we can specify that with a Flux context model as well. And yeah, just make sure that you properly inform the prompt with everything you want to do. So, sending it right now. Perfect. Let's try that. Let's see if it works. Yeah, and you can already see it's not a bearded man anymore. It's a young man with short light brown hair and a fair skin, standing confidently in front. Yeah, so I think this is already much better for me personally. So next we are just going to go to the Flux Kontext page. So this is the next key step. We're just going to go to replicate. On the replicate page, we're going to look for Flux Kontext Pro or Flux Kontext Max. Both work fine. Max is obviously better, but yeah, I think Pro is perfectly fine for what we want to do, and you can already see an example here. So the core thing is that Flux Kontext basically allows you to do image editing based on text, and it is incredibly good at that. So firstly, we're going to paste in the prompt, and then we are going to actually use my image here. Fantastic. So then we have to also match the aspect ratio. That's 16:9. Because the thing is, like, don't do the input if you really, because for example mine I think was like 400 by 400 if I recall correctly, and that's like 1:1 basically. Wonderful. Perfect. Then we're just going to change the output format to PNG to also include the alpha channel, and then we are pretty much ready to go. Let's see. Okay, this already looks a bit different because it uses my background. So for example, if I were to, now we should quickly demonstrate that. If we go to remove.bg, we can very quickly remove the background and just see the difference. Because this is fantastic, but like this is already very informed by the colors that we have in the main image. You can already see how good the text is, which previously has been absolutely horrible, and how realistic it looks, at least mostly. So let me actually just change the image, see what the difference is. Also, I feel like this is, let me just try it. This usually takes around 4 seconds to generate. We can see that there is a slight difference in background color, but like this is still very much adherent to the prompt that we've generated. So like this is the core thing. If we just take the initial prompt and remove the bearded man and just say a man. Perfect. Let's try. Yeah, and we can also see that it changed the style from blue to black, from blue to red. So I think experimenting with this is quite useful. Okay, this did not turn out to be that good, I feel, because there's no blue. Well, the thing is, I think you can definitely test out different prompts. This is super important. You can like see that there's a clear difference. You can also see that there are some things that are still a bit broken, so you can very easily either edit them out with something like remove background, where you just like remove certain parts, or with another image inpainting model. But I think one thing is very, very clear. It gets the face correct, like, almost all the time. So that's pretty cool. And so like I think this is absolutely fantastic to just like try out and see what works and what doesn't. So I think this is basically the core of how you do this. Okay, I think this already is like a decent result. It's not perfect just yet. It is very dark, and there's obviously a lot going on, but like I think it's not popping just yet. So we can actually go back to ChatGPT, and we can just basically say, hey, please adjust the prompts to have a more colorful background. It should look like it was made by a professional designer. More focus on blue colors. Perfect. Then we just paste everything in. I think the key thing is really just like iterate, test, see what works and what doesn't. This already is a way too long prompt. Please shorten the prompt significantly. And then we can see what happens. Perfect. So let's see if this is better. Yeah, this already looks it looks very different. It doesn't look much better necessarily. I think this gradient background with vibrant blue tones. We can also use particular words such as like very vibrant to like make sure that it really gets it basically. And obviously all of this is going to be very heavily influenced by the input image as well. So if the input image is very different, you want to also see very, very different results. So the core two inputs are prompt and input image, and we can basically play around with both to see what works best. I think we're already getting to quite a good place, to be honest. Now now the font is a bit broken again of the text, so we might also just cut this out and just use some proper text. Also, Flux usually is very, very, very good with large text if it is not too, if it's not too wild, basically. So for example, if you just go to the original Flux Kontext models, you can like see how well it does the text. So yeah, I think this is basically a very quick intro to how Flux Kontext works, what you can do with it, and I think it's a fantastic way to just generate anything nowadays with image editing, and I think it's an amazing model to play around with.